Hello, my name is Lisa Carpenter. I'm the Historical Farming Program Coordinator here at Kline Creek Farm. Now, Kline Creek Farm is a very special type of farm. We call it a living history farm. So we show what farming was like in DuPage County in the 1890s, so over 100 years ago. And livestock and animals were a very important part of any family farm. So here we have part of our sheep flock. They are grazing today. It's late August. Grass is mainly what the sheep eat. It's also important to give them a constant source of fresh, clean water. In addition to grass, they also get a little bit of grain to supplement during certain times of year. Especially when they have their lambs, their bodies need a little more nutrition. So we feed them a mixture of corn and oats, and those are corn and oats that are actually grown on the farm here. We typically have our lambs here in February and March. Sheep actually have twins as often as they have single lambs, so twins are very, very common. This group of sheep here are lambs that were born this year. So they're about 8 months old at this point. They were born in February and March. And these are the best of the best. These are all of the best ewe lambs that were born this year. And we are keeping them so they can grow up to be mothers and produce lambs themselves. So they were born in this shed right behind me, and they just got weaned, when they were about two to 3 months old. Weaning is when the lamb is taken away from the mother, or they're separated, because they no longer need to be drinking milk. They would try to drink milk for a much longer time, but it's just not good for the mother to keep them nursing. So we have a total of 7 here. We had a total of 20 lambs this year. So the others besides these went to market. And then these, of course, are the best ones that are going to stay for breeding. This is our ram. So the ram is the daddy sheep. A female sheep is called a ewe. And when you neuter a ram, it's called a wether. A baby sheep is called a lamb, and it's a baby until it's a year old. So we refer to the female lambs as ewe lambs and the male lambs as ram lambs. So as a working living history farm, we use draft horses here instead of tractors. So before tractors were invented, this was your source of power. So we are just bringing them in for their morning ration. So they're trained to be haltered and then go inside the barn into their stall. So all of our draft horses here are a breed called the Percheron. So they originate from France. They are about 2,000 pounds a piece. So they are twice as big as your average riding horse. So they're very, very strong, built to pull things. So this was a dairy farm in the 1890s. Dairy was the main way that the Klines made their money. And the type of cattle that we have today at Kline Creek Farm are a breed that was very, very popular throughout the 1800s. So they're a breed called the Shorthorn. So Shorthorns are a lot different than most of the dairy cattle that most farmers raise today. Most farmers raise Holsteins, the big black and white cows. Shorthorns are what is known as a dual purpose breed. So that means that they're equally good for dairy and for beef, but they actually don't really excel at either thing. So today in modern agriculture, there's a lot of specialization. So you either have a dairy cow, a dairy cow excels at milk production, or a beef cow. So she excels at putting on muscle for meat. So here we have two of our heifers. So a heifer is a female that has not yet had her first calf. So you hear people refer to all of these as cows, and technically that's not correct. A cow is a female that has had a calf. So a male is a bull, and a neutered bull is a steer. So these two are milk cows in training. So that's why we've got halters on them, and we practice leading them around and handling them so that they're used to us. Now, kind of back to the dual purpose cattle idea. So dual purpose cattle were more popular a long time ago when subsistence farming was more common. So subsistence is kind of a big word to mean smaller farms that are just kind of raising enough for their own family, as opposed to farms nowadays that are kind of specializing in one thing to sell at market. So farms that are more like subsistence are more diverse, meaning they have a lot of different products that they're selling. So that's kind of what we show here. We have chickens, we have cows, we have sheep, and we grow crops. Whereas nowadays it's more common to specialize in just one of those things. So just like with the sheep, the main thing that cows eat is grass, and that's something that we have a lot of here. They do get a little bit of grain just to supplement, and we always keep out a mineral block for them, which has salt and other trace minerals, and that's something that they just lick to get the minerals. And of course, they always have a fresh source of water. That's also very important. So we're here in our chicken coop with our hens. So a hen is a female chicken, a rooster is a male. We currently don't keep any roosters here. We just keep hens. Sometimes the roosters get a little aggressive with our visitors here. So we typically buy our chickens as chicks and raise them up. We usually get a batch every year. So we've got all different colors of chicken that you see here. So they're all different breeds, and they're all heritage breeds. So really old breeds that were common in the 1890s, which is the time period that we represent. I should mention too, we have two turkeys. This is one of our turkeys here. So it was common for farm families to keep a variety of poultry in their poultry house. So again, every animal on the farm has a job, and the chickens produce some very important products for us, eggs being the major one. So back in the 1890s, selling eggs was a really important source of farm income. We of course get chicken from chicken too, so they provide us with meat. Their feathers can also be very useful. Their feathers aren't as soft as like a goose down, but you can still use their feathers to stuff things. So we provide the chickens with a grain mix that's in these feeders that they nibble on throughout the day and night, and always a source of fresh water. And we also provide them with oyster shells for calcium. That's very important for egg production. Shelter is also particularly important for chickens because they're a pretty small animal, and they can be very susceptible to predators because of their size. So our chickens normally free range out around the farm during the day. So we let them out of this coop and they go wherever they like, and they scratch up bugs, and they even eat a little bit of grass. So they have a very varied diet. So at night we put them back in the coop and close it up to protect them from predators like possums and coyotes. So chickens have a very different digestive system than we do. So they actually have an organ called a gizzard. So the gizzard is a muscle that is filled with grit, like little pieces of sand and rocks that they actually eat off of the ground, and that helps grind up their food. So very different digestive system than us. Thank you all so very much for coming, and just keep in mind that livestock are a very important part of our everyday life. They give us so much. Please come out and see us at Kline Creek Farm if you can.